Yo guys, this is the second and final portion of my RX-78 live stream analysis series. If you haven't seen the first portion, go make sure to watch that first and then enjoy the video all you want. Here we have some gameplay of, it's from the perspective of the GM. This is now them defending, but it shows the RX-78 Gundam here pretending that it's a frontliner. Yes, it's beefy, but you're not a tank. Running up, trying to attack a Sazabi and a whatever else, a RSA, another RX-78 Gundam, you'll get trashed. Don't do it. The times that you want to push in aggressively and look for these sort of off angles or just walk in really beefy like is when the team's weakened up. When your team's weakened up, they're low in cooldowns, they're low in health. That's when you push in. That's when you have your shield. That's when you have your hyper hammer to apply damage and stun enemies. Not when they're full. He takes some damage from this. It takes 100 because it hits a wall next to him. But this is why choke points are bad. It makes it really predictable for where he's going to be. And he kind of just messes around in it. He doesn't really know what he's doing with it. He doesn't pick a decision or anything. He takes a bunch of damage and dies for no reason. So now the team is defending the B point. This goes to show it's a very small clip. These are all, I didn't cut them up. They were already like this. If you're faced with an ulting, with a Sazabi that has an Ashim or a Metis ult on it, you need to get out. This is not the place to be, man. You die, you lose those 100% of the time. And unfortunately, this also was cut out, but it shows a really effective usage of RX-78's ultimate. This objective here is very small, and those kind of points are the perfect place to throw your ultimate. It's like it's a damage over time big burst that that passes through walls and applies damage through walls. And so throwing in something like this can cover the whole point. You can kill a lot of people if they're not on their toes. Or you can throw it towards the end of the capture section and guarantee a capture because they can't walk onto the point and they will just die. And like I said, in the top right corner, you can see he secured 4 kills with it. So he obviously did it well. I don't mind him pushing up a little bit to get some poke in. Helps charge your ultimate. So pushing up and holding a higher space up the map can be better in most situations because you have more opportunities to poke them out and make them have to play well to get past you. And then once they've played well and gotten past you, then you kite back further and kite away from them and get to the first place. So instead of having only like one fight to kill them, you're getting like 1.5 sometimes, or maybe you can add up to 2 with multiple contest points, where you're getting extra damage to apply into them, extra opportunities for someone to mess up. Because on these maps, in particular, these 2 CP capture point maps, the enemy has to like, you wipe them and they come trucking back in, and then you repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. So anytime you pick an enemy, just by the way the spawns work for you as an advantage as a defender, they can't push in 5v6. So it's really advantageous to do it on these kinds of maps in particular. And it's also just gives you extra ult charge. Doing it like, every fight gets you about 20% ult charge. You have about, let's just say like 7 or 8 fights in a match for like attack or defense. And so you're looking at like an ult and a half off of that. Very good. And like I said earlier, when something's downed in this situation, you do get ult charge off of it, so it can be good to kill it. But a lot of it's like an opportunity cost. Like, okay, well, do I want to spend my time killing it, or do I want to spend my time trying to move on to a better position, help my teammates out? But it looks like they've killed a lot of them anyway, so they're pretty solid to do this. Good. He did a good job switching here. In this situation, some people might focus too hard on the Marse after it's been down, but it's not going to do anything. It's going to die in like 3 seconds anyway. So just kill the Ashimar. Positioning gets a little bit sloppy. He's standing out in the open. Options here are playing directly where he is right now, so he can use this as cover, or pushing up into the choke and stuffing the Sazabi, because you can do that as a RX-78 Gundam. And as a nice little side note, as much as this guy popped off and hit that amazing ultimate earlier, you can be damaged by your own ultimate. So be careful, because it's a little bit embarrassing to kill yourself. It's good usage of shield. supposed to be able to back up with it. That's basically what it should be held for. Using it to survive, using it as like a backup option. You don't want to use it aggressively just because, or like preliminarily. You want to use it to reactively to save yourself. All right, moving on to the next map. This is the kind of map that I'm happy to have an RX-78 Gundam on. It's going to not do as well in the transitionary periods between the maps, and maybe on a map or two, or sorry, not maps, on the capture points, the various King of the Hill points here, because there's 3 and you rotate between them based on whatever one it decides. But it does really well on the actual objectives. It is the best like consistent damage dealer for these type of objectives, just because it does do well in medium-ish close range. This positioning is actually pretty good. He has this wall to use as cover. His team should be playing further up. Imagine there's a Sazabi directly above the enemy Sazabi to contest that Sazabi where he just applies damage. And that's basically what you want to do. You want to just avoid the enemy. Don't worry about them until they pressure onto the point, and then you burn them. But like I said, it is a little bit early. You don't need to be contesting a point. I say this all the time in my videos. You don't need to contest a point if the enemy, if it's not unlocked, or if the enemy hasn't touched it yet. You don't need to be standing on top of it. You don't need to be forcing it until it, like, you are capturing it or you're stopping them from capturing it. You know? Basically, do you have control of it or you don't have control? And are they messing with it? Which also includes you on attack, controlling the objective, and then only leaving one person on it to capture while the rest of you split off. Should be on high ground. There's no reason to be down here. This is the C point. There's a really good high ground directly above him. Especially the high ground is really powerful, but it's also kind of diveable because there's like 2 jump pads up to it. But with the character like RX-78 Gundam that really likes these close engagements and can survive them well, it's fine. It's good. It's a good place to have him. And I hope he stays up here. This is the other room objective we saw. This is A. Yes, A. I hope he stays up here. Presumably his team will come and capture the point. He is in a better position to stand on top of the enemy and murder them, and there's nothing anybody can do about that. This ultimate is really good, actually. Assuming that I can't really see it, but assuming somebody would come and pressure it from the enemy team, it's a really good ultimate to buy time and burn anyone that comes onto it. You can often secure kills like this. If not, you just get a free capture of the objective. So as you can see, they run away because of that. Boom, point gets caught, and now he's just playing standard, but he drops, so that's a little bit silly. And he drops, and now hopefully this gives you a little bit of an image of how angles work. Up here, anytime he wants to avoid an angle from the front or from someone below him, he can just back up. He really should be a little bit to the right behind that, covered there from blocking the side angle, but you can back up. When you drop, now you can't back up, and there's someone underneath him on the side who he would have had an advantage on, but now this guy's messing with him. Make sure to check out my RX-78 guide for a full guide on this character, including when to play, how to play, the abilities, and the strengths and weaknesses. Thanks for watching, guys. Y'all are totally the best.